Freddy Krueger is quite an iconic character. From his trademark sweater to the sadistic personality, no version of Freddy has ever looked the same. But which one is truly the best? Let's find out. What is up, Golden Family? Miner here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my personal rankings on every single design of Freddy Krueger. Now these designs range from iconic to okay to just plain why does this have to exist. We're going to be focusing primarily on the design of Freddy in these films. However, I am going to be throwing in bits of his personality and details of the actual film as well. Lastly, these are my personal rankings. If you guys disagree, leave yours in the comments and we'll see how many people agree with you. But first, a few honorable mentions. First, we have Scary Terry from Rick and Morty. God, I really gotta get some oil on this chair. Now, personally, I don't actually hate this design. Now, obviously, it could be better. Like, they made this design because they wanted to include Freddy Krueger, but they couldn't due to copyright. But still, I really don't hate it. I mean, I like how they changed the knives to giant swords, and they gave him an entire population of scary people. And rather than having like stripes on the sweater, they had like a wavy texture to it. I like it. And next we got the entity from Dylan's New Nightmare. Now this is a Freddy from a Nightmare on Elm Street fan film that is a direct sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is a film that we will get into later. Now honestly, I don't hate this design. However, I think it looks like a combination of some of the original makeups, the remake makeups, and the New Nightmare makeups. And honestly, I'd say that's a good mixture, honestly. And let me just say something, guys. I only just recently got a chance to see Dylan's New Nightmare. If you guys want to see it for yourself, it'll be linked in the description down below. Honorable mentions out of the way, we have 9 total rankings. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's just jump right into number 9. So at number 9, we got the design of Freddy from Dream Child. Now, I personally don't like this film. And yes, when I say what I'm about to say, I am including the remake on here. This is probably my least favorite film in the franchise. And by the way, when I say that, I mean like the remake is like my 3rd least favorite film. But we'll get into that later. Now, I just don't like the glossy effect that he has, and like the fact that he's trying to take over this girl's son. I mean, come on, dude, didn't you already have a kid? Like, didn't they establish that in Freddy's Dead? And the entire idea of him becoming a baby and then being brought back to life through that just makes no sense. However, I will be giving the scene right after Baby Freddy, whenever he walked up and said the line, "It's a boy!" Dude, that was dope. I like that. That is probably the only redeeming fact about this movie, honestly. Aside from that, the characters are freaking forgettable, and the design of Freddy sucks. Now, the design of Baby Freddy, however, that's actually pretty dope. I legitimately crap myself whenever I first saw this. But then here we are years later, and I'm realizing how stupid it is, and the fact that in the end of the movie, they turned him into Baby Freddy, and then his mom absorbed him back into her womb. It is so freaking stupid. Let's just move on to number 8. So at number 8, we got Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. So this is the film that actually brought us through Freddy's life. Like, Freddy's life as a kid, Freddy's life as a... is this a teenager? Adult? I legitimately can't tell. And a middle-aged serial killer. In his adulthood, he married a woman named Loretta and had a kid named Maggie. Now, keep in mind, Maggie is not her real name, that's her adoption name. However, I can never remember what her real name is, so I'm going to call her Maggie for now. This film also established the fact that dream demons are the ones who made him into a dream demon. Wait, that makes no sense. Is this even in the script? However, I do put this higher than Dream Child because of the ending, when Freddy blows up and his head goes in like multiple different dimensions. That whatever happens, that looks awesome. Just because of that, I'm giving it number 8. Okay, I know a lot of you guys hate the remake. Keep in mind, I hate it too. The film is crap, but compared to the other two, it is severely underrated. I really like the design of Freddy in this one. They wanted to go for a more realistic approach. Wanted to make him more resemble a burn victim. However, if you go that level of realism, you do lose the actor underneath. Listen, Jackie Earle Haley did a really good job playing in the role of Freddy, but nobody can replace Robert Englund. I really like the design of like the sweater, the hat, the glove even. I love the fact that if you look at him head on, you can kind of see that he has like 2 different color eyes. Aside from that, there's literally no other redeeming facts about this movie, especially the fact that they depicted Freddy as a So yeah, the design of Freddy is probably the only redeeming factor about this movie. Let's just move on. Alright, now we're going to get into the films I don't have much of an issue with. At number 6, we have The Dream Master. Now honestly, this version of Freddy looks awesome. Like, he looks very similar to the one from Part 3, and as you guys know, Part 3 is my favorite. And also, I like the scene whenever he puts on the sunglasses. Honestly, that looked good. I think I have some very similar sunglasses around here somewhere. Overall, the design of Freddy was good, the kills were nice, and just, I really like this movie, but not as much as the ones after this. So in the number 5 spot, we got the design of Freddy from Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Makeup artist Kevin Yeager wanted to have more of a male witch vibe to him, which you guys can totally see with this design. With like the sunken eyes, the hooked nose, and like the overall bone structure. Also, not to mention the glove that he uses towards the end of the film, that looks gnarly. But the main hero glove that he uses throughout the majority of the film, same thing with the, Halloween masks from Halloween 1 and 2, which I actually did a video on, link in the iCard. This is actually the very same glove that was used in the first film, which we will get into later. It just looks different because of the fact that it's been beaten up, battered, the blades have been like blunted countless times, and it's just all over the place. Honestly, I'm beginning to think I should have put this one below Dream Master because the design of the glove in that one was kind of sick, honestly. But whatever, let's move on to number 4. So at number 4, we got the design of Freddy from Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Honestly, this is a very sick design. He doesn't really resemble a burn victim as much as the original Freddy does. It just looks like his skin is just peeling. So in the 90s, Wes Craven came back and answered the question that critics have been wondering for years. Wes, what do you think Freddy is? And he answered that with this one movie. He had this idea all the way back in like the Dream Master, Dream Warriors range. I like the fact that he's slightly taller than average Freddy. He's got like a trench coat on. He's got like a turtleneck with like the colors inverted. I love the green fedora. I love the design of the glove. Like the glove actually looks like it's attached to his hand. However, if they would have weathered him up a little bit more, which is also a point I should have mentioned with the Freddy's Dead design, they should have weathered him up a lot more. Like, how did we go from freaking disgusting looking sweater to a freaking clean looking sweater? But I should have mentioned that during Freddy's Dead. We're talking about New Nightmare here. But the same logic still applies here. Honestly, they should have like weathered his sweater up a lot more, made him look more like a burn victim. He'd be much higher up on the list if they did that. But still, overall, it's a great film, great design from Freddy. Let's move on. So in the number 3 spot, we got the design of Freddy from Freddy vs. Jason. Look, a lot of people really hated this film. I personally found it severely underrated. In fact, it was actually probably one of the first, probably like a third of both franchises that I have ever seen. This design of Freddy has like much darker clothing on, and his burn marks are darker, his teeth are much sharper, and the blades on his glove are much longer than they were in the original film. Not to mention how freaking chunky that glove looks. Like, come on, you're going against freaking Jason Voorhees. You need to have a good glove on you so that way you can take him on. And honestly, guys, with Ken Kersinger's height and Freddy's glove in this version, I'm not surprised that it turned out to be a draw. So at number 2, we have my personal favorite film in the entire franchise, The Dream Warriors, Part 3. This one's debatably one of the best. So they wanted to make it seem like Freddy was healing. He was slowly starting to morph back into Robert Englund. And honestly, you can totally see that with how thin the makeup looks. Also, not to mention all the different forms he has taken in this film. Like the giant snake, the marionette puppet, his own skeleton. This is probably one of the greatest films ever created. But let's move on to number 1, and I'm sure it's not really surprising what's in the number 1 spot. So at number 1, we got the design of Freddy from part 1 of the entire series. Look, the design of Freddy has gone through countless iterations at this point, but this one will always be the best. It's the OG, it's the GOAT, it's the classic. This is the best one. So basically, instead of giving him a mask, they wanted to give him like a mask of melted flesh. And you know, if they would have put a mask over him, it would have blocked out all that, all that personality we all know Freddy for. And that's not even including the glove. Wes Craven wanted something different. Something that wasn't a chainsaw, a kitchen knife, a freaking machete. Something completely different. Something that this killer made by himself. Even taking inspiration from both his cat and caveman times. Because what were cavemen afraid of? Bears. And what did bears have? Claws. Now, as for like the hat and sweater, he was actually inspired off an old drunk that used to scare the crap out of him as a kid. They were originally going to use a paperboy hat, but Robert Englund stepped in and said, "No, Wes, we got to use this." Wes Craven wasn't really sure about it at the time, but he went with it, and now the fedora has become an iconic trademark to Freddy. And that's it. The original film came out in 1984 and changed the horror genre forever. Be sure to comment which one is your guys' favorite. For me, you guys already know it's the design from Part 3. I absolutely adore this Freddy. And if you guys disagree with my rankings, be sure to leave yours in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, this is Miner signing off for now. I love you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching. Golden Family.